Good evening. My name is Montgomery Russell, and I said that very weird. Don't mind me. Um, this is my project, or really my video explaining my project. So let's jump right into it. Basically, I made a code, or I'm sorry, I wrote code that compares your first value to your next value, and then it chooses whichever one is greater. And if it is greater, then it gets moved to the next one. So then it compares to the next one and the next one and the next one. And so that way, that if your 95 is being compared to 5, well, obviously 95 is bigger than 5. And so your 95 is kept, and then it's going to be stored. So for instance, we're going to load like A1, right? And then we're going to come through and we're going to load, and we're going to see which one's bigger. So is A1 bigger than B1? If not, it's going to skip. Or if it is, it's going to skip, I'm sorry. And then it's going to go, well, is B1 bigger than C1? And so on and so forth. And then you'll actually start comparing. So is it A1? Is it the other way? So is A1 smaller than B1? And it's going to compare and make sure that we're good both directions. And this is the way it's sorting. So as we sort and whatnot, once it figures out that, say A1 smaller than B1, then it's going to swap. It's going to change, it's going to move them. So now you're going to be swapping to temp A, which is the values that we showed down here. That's where your temporary values are going to be held. So that's why I've named them temp A, temp B, temp C, just to keep it all together. And so this is where we're going to actually hold these temporary values and actually be able to do something with them. With that temporary values being held. So as the code actually runs, it's actually shuffling through, and once it actually gets to the end of the code, it actually goes, well, is the last one smaller or bigger than the one before? Obviously it's going to be smaller than the one before, but there's going to be nothing to compare to. So in that case, it's actually going to jump out of the loop because it's going to break the loop function, and that's actually where we're going to show the output. So then we go through the output of A1, B1, C1, so on and so forth. And so this is where it's actually going to compare and see and everything else of that nature. So to show you, if we go to run this, and I have it sped up, but I can slow it down just a little bit, something like that, we can actually watch it run. And if you watch right in here, it's actually comparing all of those against each other. As you're watching this, it's actually bouncing as it's comparing. And as it gets down to here, it's going to continue to compare and so on and so forth until it finally reaches the end. And so when it's not able to compare to each other anymore, that's when it's actually going to output the code. So if we watch right here real quick, it should drop my answer or my output momentarily. I probably slowed it down a little too much. That's my bad. If need be, I can speed it up again. There it goes. And as we get to the very end, I'm glad I sped it up. It would take him forever. We can see that it's actually sorted like it's supposed to be. So, with that being said, that is my code. That's how it functions. It's basically just comparing the one before to the next one. And that's how we get here. So, thank you for listening in with me, and I appreciate it. And I hope I was a good explanation. I just want to be very upfront and honest. Assembly is not my gig. It's not my forte. This is the first class I've ever actually messed with it in. So it's kind of rough. I've used a lot of help from like Wiki and YouTube. And some of the Iowa institution actually had a lot of documentation on this, which was phenomenal. But overall, this is my program, and it works okay. It's a little slow. But thank you for watching.